Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to show you an easy way to make a keto-friendly omelet. Come to think of it, the last time I checked, most omelets are ketogenic anyway, aren't they?
Well, who cares?
So you ready? Let's get into this. Very quickly, I'd like to give a very big thank you to everyone out there watching our videos. Today we went over
1 million views.
That's a very big milestone and we would never be able to get there without you, so thank you so much. Alright, for this recipe we need eggs, obviously. No egg replacer for this because that would be gross. Some yellow onions, some green onions or chives, a little bit of green bell pepper, some baby spinach, a little bit of shredded sharp cheddar cheese, that's a tongue twister, some minced garlic, a tiny bit of whipped butter, and our herb combination. We've got some salt, pepper, and a little bit of oregano in here. And last but not least, a little bit of non-stick spray. I would use this whether you're using a non-stick pan or not. A lot of people say this is bad for non-stick pans, but I'm going to use it anyway because I make a huge mess every time I don't use it, regardless of what kind of pan I use, and I'm not going to mess that up on YouTube. Hey, if you want to make this recipe, all of the ingredients and measurements are down in the description of the video, along with the calorie count, the carbs, the fat, and the protein. First thing we're going to do is crack our eggs. What most people like to do is they crack the egg on the side of the bowl. It seems like that would be the best way to do it, but it really isn't because that's the best way to get little pieces of shell into the bowl. So what you really want to do is crack it on a flat surface. Let's crack these open. And when you hit it like that, you'll see that it doesn't splinter it as much. It just makes a handful of cracks. You could still get shell in there, but you're a lot less likely for that to happen. So now you want to beat these eggs like they stole something, just for a little bit to make sure they get combined. You don't want little bits of yellow and white all floating around in there. You want to try to get them a pretty uniform color. Don't go too terribly crazy with that or anything, but you want to make sure it's at least mixed pretty well. Probably good to use a fork, not so much a spoon, because that will kind of help break this up. And you want it to look a little bit like that. We're going to be using 2 pans for this because we want to cook our vegetables separately from our eggs. The larger pan we want to use for the egg, and the smaller pan here we want to use for the vegetables. I give them both a quick spray with non-stick. So we're going to cook our vegetables first, so turn on your burner and you want to put it at a medium heat. That's about as high as I would go, but I'm also using induction and it tends to run a little bit hotter, so you don't have to use as high a setting. Use your own judgment, but I wouldn't go as high as a medium high. Remember, we're not wanting to caramelize these vegetables or anything or cook them all the way through. We just want to soften them up a little bit and make them nice for our omelet. Once your pan's warmed up a little bit, the first thing we'll do is throw in our whipped butter. It doesn't seem like a lot, but a little bit goes a long way. And then we're going to start adding in our vegetables. The first vegetable we want to put in is the stuff that's the hardest. So we're going to put in the peppers first, then the onions, then the spinach. And once the spinach goes in, we're probably only going to have it in there for a few seconds just to kind of get it softened up a little bit. But remember, harder vegetables take longer to cook, so therefore if you want everything to be about even, you got to do them in that order. So in go the peppers. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. Okay, once we've got these softened up a tiny bit, we'll add in our onions. Okay, we don't want these to be in here very long because we don't want to turn these brown. If they're starting to turn color, it means they've been in there too long. So we'll go ahead and add in our garlic now. Throw that in. We'll stir that around a little bit. And once you start getting a tiny bit of color here on your onions, then you know it's time to put in your spinach. And you want to cook the spinach not till it's all the way through, but you just want to see it change to a little bit darker color. You don't want to shrink it up completely, but you don't want to leave it in here raw either. Now we'll take a little bit of our herb combination, sprinkle that in, and we'll stir this around a little bit. You can see this is getting cooked pretty good, so this is just about the way we want it. So we're going to take this off the heat and set it aside. Don't leave it in the pan, it's going to keep cooking in the pan. You want to put that safely into a bowl right on the side, just like that. Okay, now for our eggs, we want to go ahead and again put this burner at a very medium heat. Don't be in a hurry to get this done. Okay, we can go ahead and pour our egg in here. You don't have to wait until this is completely warmed up or anything. In fact, I would recommend not waiting for that. You can see that the fact that we're using this larger pan means the egg is going to spread way out and it's going to reach all the way to the edges of your pan, so we're going to get a nice uniform shape and it's going to be nice and thin. That way it's going to cook very quickly. And once the edges start getting cooked, you can test it by seeing if you can kind of lift those edges. You can see I can get the spatula under the edge. So I'm just going to kind of work my way around this and make sure that I can bring that up, because I'm going to be flipping the edge of this over pretty soon. As you can see, that's looking pretty good. Okay, now we're going to add in our vegetables as so. We're going to top it with a whole bunch of cheese, just like that. You want to try to keep this centered as much as you can. Tiny bit of green onion. And now we're going to season this a little bit. And then we're going to flip one side kind of up over the top here. Then we'll go ahead and flip the other side over the top here, as so. Just like that. And a little bit more seasoning on the top here. And once you let that cook for a second there, we're going to flip it over onto the other side like that. Now we'll just season the top a tiny bit more. Throw a little bit more cheese on top here. And maybe a little green onion to garnish. Let that cheese melt just a second, and then we'll be able to plate this up. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about Joe's Phenomenal, you can watch a couple more videos, or you can check us out online at joesphenomenal.com. Well, it's pretty much as easy as that. Just remember to keep the heat down on your pan, and most importantly, have some fun with it. I thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your busy day to watch this video. It really means a lot to me, and I can't wait to see you back again here really soon. So until that time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.